All right, so this is the second exercise, which I might do in two parts because it is a bit longer than most of them right now. As you can see, there's quite a few steps. So we're going to do the first few steps, and I might record another video for the other parts. So first, this is actually the river assignment, or in this case, the collage, photo collage. You're going to go in the file. You're going to open. You should already have the links, or not the links, the photos that she provided. And the first one that you're going to open is the leaves one. So here we have the first layer, and she wants you to name it leaves. So I'm just going to name it leaves. Then it also states in the assignment that she wants you to go in the image and image size. Here I already have it set to what I want it to be set to. So you would have the width at 10 inches, height at 8 inches, and then a resolution of at least 220. You can make it 300, but I just left it at 200 and keep it as automatic. Then you click OK once you're happy with that. So this is your first layer. The next thing you're going to do is open the let me just check the thing. Okay, you're going to open the tree file. So file, open. This is going to open in a completely different tab. So let me just find it. Tree. All right, you can crop this if you don't like how big it is. So the crop tool is here, but I'm just going to keep it like that because I'm fine with it. And because my laptop is already set, I've already preset the modes that I want on Photoshop. This is going to show up as a locked layer. For you to actually be able to move it, you're going to have to unlock it. So I'm just going to lock it and demonstrate that. So right now it's locked. You're going to click it to unlock it, and that's when you're able to grab this thing. So here you also have to check the resolution and image size. So here, 77.5, 300, so resolution's fine. Let me see if there's a specific one that you want. And also says that you should have control, show transform controls. Mine's already set like that, so you should be fine. So I believe this is actually fine. Then you click OK. Now you're going to grab this and bring it into your first thing, so your leaves. The way you do this is make sure you have the grab tool. You hold and click and you drag. It's going to do that until you click onto this, and you'll see that it has that little plus. That means it has the photo, and you're going to drop it. It's going to be way too big, so you're going to want to zoom out. You can use your control plus or control negative, but I'm just using the scroll wheel because I have it set. You're going to see your transform tools. If you don't see the transform things, you can always click Control T if you haven't already set it. So I'm going to scroll out, and I'm going to make this smaller. Even though it's outside the box, you can just drag it and put it in. And as you can see, I have it set like that. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. And there we go. That is step one done. Now you're going to click the plus. You can still move it. It just means that it's not fully selected. You're going to name this one trees. All right, let me just check the rest of the instructions. All right, so for this, you're going to apply an effect. So the effect that you're going to be applying is called stroke. We've already learned this, so make sure that you click on the layer that you're going to apply the effect to. So there's going to be that FX at the bottom, and that's to add a layer style. You're going to click on it, and you're going to select stroke. Just for the sake, I'm going to move it over so you guys can see what's happening to this. As you can already see, it's kind of already set to black. I kind of like the size. This is where you'd move the size. So I'm just going to make it 38. You can do it inside, outside. Personally, I like outside, and the blend mode, you'll set to multiply. Opacity, I changed to 46, but it doesn't matter how much of the opacity you want. With color, you're going to keep it as color as the fill type, and you're actually going to choose a color that is similar to the background. So the way you're going to do that is you're going to click on the color box right now, and automatically when you move off of it and onto the photo, you have this dropper tool. This is going, wherever you click on the photo, it will sample that color. So for example, let's do this. You can't really see it, but you can tell that it's changed. I'm gonna choose this one at the top. Actually, no. What about that? So I've chosen a kind of red color or a brown color. I like that color, so I'm gonna click OK. I'm gonna click OK as well. Now you're going to want to change the direction of this, so, or if you want, you can move it around. But for the sake of it, I'm going to follow her exact direction. Here, you can see you're still using the grab tool. Make sure you're not on crop, please. It's it's going to confuse you. So when you're on the photo, you'll see that there are transforms. If you don't see those transforms, so you're going to click Control T. That'll show you these if you really do not see them. So when you see these, you're going to go to the edge. You're going to see two different options. You're going to see one that makes the thing bigger. And then when you move out just a little bit, you're going to see something kind of curved. That just means you're able to move the photo. So you're going to click and you're going to drag to the way you want it to look. Don't worry if it goes out of the border, you can actually move it. So then click, move. I personally like that. And then the very top has a check mark. And if you're happy with it, click the check mark. And that's the first one, that's trees. All right, so your next one is going to be, I believe you're going to open up the river. So you're gonna do File, Open. And then we're gonna look for the river right there and open. Again, it'll open on a completely different thing. I'm fine with the size. I don't feel like cropping. But I guess for the sake of it, if you guys still struggle with cropping, I'll do it. You're going to see these transform tools around. I know there have been a few issues with the cropping, but again, like I stated in the first exercise, some troubleshoot things that you can do Shift. Yeah, not that. But yeah, Shift can help sometimes, but in this case, I'm just gonna crop it a little bit like that. And then, yeah. Here, you're not going to be able to move it if you have it on the crop option. So go into the grab option and then click and drag back to your leaves PNG or the one that you're working on. Again, do the same thing as the first step. Make it smaller. Don't worry if it's out of the thing. Move it into the picture, zoom back in. Again. Oh, yeah. And again, for the sake of it, this little hand thing means that if you're really going into detail about things and you don't want to keep zooming in and out, just hold the space bar, click down, and then this will move your photo around, well, to wherever you need it to be. I don't personally need that, but that's just a tip that I used when I did Photoshop for years, I believe. So yeah, and then we're going to change the size again, and I'm happy with that. So there we go. All right, this one, I believe you're going to be adding a layer mask. A layer mask is basically another mask on top of this one where you can do different things around the photo. So in this case, she wants you to actually fade out the border of your photo. And that's why we're going to use the layer mask. So when doing a layer mask, you're going to right click, but first actually let's, for the sake of it, let's name this river. There we go. And right click. Here you're going to see something that says, why did I do that? Don't do that. Okay, here's the layer. Make sure that the layer is open or that you're using it. You're clicked on it. Geez, I can't walk. I can't talk today. Oh my goodness. All right, so this is a layer mask right next to the FX. What you want to make sure is that you're actually on that layer. I cannot emphasize that enough. Otherwise, you're going to be doing it to a completely different layer. So click on that and you'll see that it is attached, right? This layer is currently active and so is the mask. So here, you're going to click on the brush tool. And she wants you to put it to 200. So the way you would change it would be to go up here, drop down, and then you can use the slider or just simply click it. But since I already have it, fine. And let me just make sure that I'm doing all this right. I'm going to pause for a second. All right, so what this is going to do is it's going to help you fade out, but here you can see that my foreground color is white. You're going to have to switch that because basically what white does is if you make a mistake or you do something too much, it'll bring back whatever you faded out. Black will get rid of it. So you're going to click D, which reverses it. Or if it doesn't want to, 1 second. Actually, usually D works, but I'm just gonna go into it and do it separately and do it differently. So we're just gonna do, I believe it's 6 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that makes it black. I'm gonna turn this to FFF, FFF, and that should be 6. I'll redo that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And that creates white. Right, so now I'm gonna zoom in a bit. I'm actually going to go around the edges, and as you can see, it's fading it. You can fade it out as much as you want, but make sure that you don't fade it so much that you can barely see the photo. Okay, so here, I'm pretty happy with that. I just want to make sure that it is art. Alright, so I'm pretty happy with that. And again, if you think, like, let's say you did that by accident. Okay, you're just gonna switch your color. And that's D. Just gonna, so you can see it's bringing some of it back. So if you make mistakes like that, you can just switch it back to white and it can bring back whatever you messed up. All right, so that one's done. Use the grab tool. You're gonna change the direction again. I'm happy with that. Actually, no, I'm not. You can still change the sides if you want, but I'm pretty good with my size for the photo, and I'm pretty happy with how that looks. All right, so now you're going to add text. This is text. It's horizontal type tool. If you have any other thing set, then you just hold it. You don't have to right click, just hold on the click when you're doing the type, and it'll give you these options. So make sure it's stuck on horizontal type tool. And set your font to 60. And in her example, she has her set to Broadway. So I think Broadway is actually pretty good because it's pretty big and it'll show the next step that you're going to do pretty well. So click. It's going to look like that. It's just going to say like lorem ipsum. That's just, you just delete that and then you start typing. Right now I'm assuming my color is blue, but it doesn't really matter what your color is because it's not going to show. Here you're gonna type fall 2020. Okay, so I'm happy with that, right? And we're gonna click the plus. You're gonna take your move tool, and as you can see, it has the border thing. If you wanna make it bigger, you technically can. You can just make it like that. You want it a bit bigger. So I'm just gonna say I want it a bit bigger, and I'm gonna click that. So that layer is already automatically called Fall 2020. Now you're gonna go into File, Open, and you're gonna get the bark photo. So open that. We'll do the same thing. Again, here, as you can actually see, it's locked. So unlock it. Make sure you have your grab tool on, and then bring it, not there, that's, bring it into your photo. Right now, it is giant. So you're just gonna make it a bit smaller. It doesn't quite matter right now. Make sure that it's covering your text though, because that's exactly what you need. You need to cover your text, and then click the plus. So technically, this is not supposed, it's not supposed to look like that. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna right click on layer 1, which we're gonna call bark. Bark in all caps, okay. Bark, there you go. Right click and create a clipping mask. This, make sure that you're applying the clipping mask to your bark layer, because this is the layer that it's going to automatically fill in for the text layer. So your bark layer always has to be above your fall layer. Anything that you're clipping, always make sure that it is the thing above it. As you can see around here, you see that little arrow is pointing down, meaning that it is active on the fall layer. And as you can see, it's done that. Now that that's good, select Control D to unselect. Actually, no, you don't, I already unselected. And that is one of the first steps. Okay. So now she wants you to add, I believe, another effect thing on it. So click on your fall layer and FX again, and another stroke. Don't have a stroke, I just mean click on the stroke. Here, I actually want to keep the color as black. So black is 6, no, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it's black. Here, it looks like that. I'm pretty happy with that, except for the size. So we're just gonna make it smaller. Oh, that's nice. Okay, there you go. And now you finish that layer. This is the first part. I'm gonna put the bird one in a separate video because that's a bit longer. So yeah, that's one. Watch part 2 for the goose.